What's up, everybody? We're back with KG again, the founder of InternetMoney.io wallet. You might have heard the news. Rabby no longer integrating PulseChain starting in 2 more days. Do not panic. Watch my past video. I tell you what to do. There's basically a couple of options. We either go to another wallet or add the network manually in Rabby. You can go back to MetaMask, or you can try Internet Money, which is very PulseChain friendly. And this is KG, the founder. So why don't you introduce yourself for people that might not know you?
First of all, Coffee, thanks for having me on today. Always appreciate you taking the time to do this. My name's KG, founder of the Internet Money crypto wallet on Android, iOS, and Chrome. We are an EVM wallet. So if you're used to using something like MetaMask or Rabby, it's a seamless transition. You can connect to all the same networks, access all the same tokens. We just have some cool features that other people don't have, and we're constantly building and improving.
Cool. Yeah. I really liked Rabby, so it's super disappointing to not have the integration anymore. I think people that watch this channel, they understand the advantage of internet money is like you don't collect any data. So that's pretty good. MetaMask does. But at the end of the day, the user experience is going to dictate. As much as I hate to say it, there's simple things that MetaMask even does that right now I'm waiting for internet money to do, and I can't wait because you probably are well aware of it. It's probably on the roadmap. But stuff just like when I try to swap on PulseX, for example, I'd want the widget to pop up in my browser, not direct me to another page, and it's a little confusing in that sense. Along with just things like auto recognizing coin balances, mobile browser, stuff like that.
Totally valid feedback, and actually the internally call it a tier 1 top priority is integrating an in-app browser, and that DApp connection method you're speaking to. I don't have to go too far in the weeds, but right now Internet Money uses Wallet Connect, which is very widely adopted by the industry. But MetaMask and Rabby use a method that's called injected provider. I won't go too deep, but basically we are going to integrate that connection style, so you will be able to have that same experience that you're used to having on MetaMask and Rabby. If you're using on a desktop and if you're using on mobile, you'll have that in-app browser. So there is at this moment in time, by community demand, no higher priority for us than those two features. Now, automatic token detection, sweet feature. It's also high on the priority list, but the in-app browser and the injected, that's like fully
Yeah.
loaded. Let's go.
Yeah. Music to my ears. I figured it was, because at the end of the day, people are going to use the better user experience. We've seen that people don't care about privacy, even though they should. But at least your wallet has privacy. For when it gets to the point that it is better, they'll also be private. They won't know it, but they won't have their data stolen from them and sold or tracked, or God forbid one day, censored by the government or something like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think you're in the right place right now, building the right tool that we all need. It sucks to see Rabby on integrating because they're also the founders of DBank, and we use DBank all the time too. I would hope they're not taking it off there, and it's honestly ridiculous. Like, it's kind of outraging when you realize the joke on Twitter was that, oh, you're gonna integrate Duck Chain that no one's ever heard of that has like 10 users, but you're not going to integrate Pulse Chain, which is probably like 25% of your users. I mean, who knows? It's probably some crazy high number because we're real people. What do you think about all that? Why would they do that?
Well, I have two hats when I approach this situation. Hat number one is I'm a passionate Pulse Chain community member. So from that perspective, it sucks and it's sad because I want as many people, wallets, platforms, whatever, to integrate Pulse Chain, support Pulse Chain, to propagate Pulse Chain. So I was excited when Rabby integrated Pulse Chain because that was a big win for us. And they had a lot of great tools for Pulse Chain. So, and like you said, also DBank. So I'm hoping that we don't see the lack of or the loss of support there. But as the founder of a wallet, putting that hat on, yeah, it's like asking Microsoft, like, hey, what if Apple went out of business? I'm not really upset about it because we're working hard. Or blood, sweat, and tears goes into internet money. We're by Pulse Chain for Pulse Chain. And I'm excited to see that we're getting more support out there. I'm appreciative of the more support. And so I have two perspectives in this situation, but their reasoning for not integrating it seems fake in a way, because you look, as someone who's built a product, as somebody who's out there looking at other products being built, they had like a large free marketing force in the Pulse Chain community. It just seems like a bad business decision, but they know their numbers. I don't.
Yeah, I would guess it has to do with all this public talk of exploits and whatnot. It's probably no coincidence. Just kind of like how we got delisted off MEXC right after the Interpol FUD. You know, exploit, literally just means using the system as intended to exploit it. So it might be a scary word for people, but the whole PDI situation is just some smarter people that are extracting based off of how they know how to use the inefficiencies in the system right now. So it probably got misinterpreted and like game of telephone, and somebody told someone that it was like some terrible thing. And I just hate, it's extremely disappointing, but thankfully we got people like you to pick up the slack. And I know you guys hate questions like this and development. It always takes longer than you think. I get it. But when updates, sir? When do I get all these good updates?
Well, we've been working on a really big update right now. It's not going to have the connection things that we're talking about. We're going to focus some attention on that after this. But in this new update, another big feature request we've got is foreign currency. So now you'll be able to view your portfolio or whatever, use the whole app in 40 or more different currencies. We have some UI updates coming out where we didn't change the whole theme, but we've simplified some things. We've made it look a lot prettier on Chrome, especially. We've got some awesome optimizations to speed coming out as well, because after people use the app for a while, some people have reported it can get a little slower. So we got some awesome speed app optimizations coming out. We've fixed a few bugs that users have reported. We are coming out with Transact as a fiat on-ramp option. So we'll now have
amazing.
two. Yep.
So that's the second one, right? The first one was Gardarian or something?
Yep, yeah. Correct. So Gardarian, you can actually get right into PulseChain, but it's only about 150 to $500 depending on the day. But Transact, you won't be able to go right into PulseChain, but it'll expand to the UK, which is a big one for us. And what's really cool is you can on ramp like 20 to 30,000 into Ethereum. And so another tier 1 priority item for us is bringing the Pulse Chain bridge directly into the app. So what users will be able to do is go through Ethereum in much larger capacities and then bridge right from the app. So users will never have to leave the app, connect to dApps, and it'll still be the easiest way to onboard into Pulse Chain. So time frame, we were final alpha testing. Anybody who likes to test software, we have an alpha testing group. We stopped calling it beta by user feedback. They said, hey, nothing with internet money should be beta. It should all be alpha. So it's alpha testing now.
I like that.
So if you want to be an alpha tester, it's in alpha testing. And
when Sigma testing, sir?
We're always Sigma testing.
Yeah.
But we should be live with that update within the next week, and then have me back on in a week or two, and I'll give you a more estimated time frame for the connection stuff.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's good to see this is all a work in progress, always being improved. You've been live for what, a year and a half?
Longer. We're about to celebrate out. We're coming up on 2 years, so a little longer than a year and a half.
Very nice. Very nice. And the Lindy effect, the longer something's been around, the longer it's probably going to be around. So I know new wallets can be scary, but these guys, I'm betting that you're not going anywhere anytime soon. In this for the long haul, right?
I make the same bet. We as a product are much different than a protocol, right? No shade or anything towards protocols, but good crypto DeFi is you build some smart contracts, nobody changes them, they stay that way forever, and you tweak the front end here or there. We are an ever expanding and growing and evolving product, so you're going to constantly see updates from us. We're building, always finding areas to get better, and as more people support us, we're able to do that faster because, well, we need support to grow. I mean, you can't grow without support. It's like a plant growing without water; it just doesn't.
Yeah. It's Time token is doing all right as well. Time is the in-app token. It basically is a revenue split token where people
Mm-hmm.
that do transaction fees get a portion of all the fees if they just hold time token. You don't need to do anything, no staking. You just hold it in your wallet. You get dripped. We should mention the fees in the wallet, right? I think it's higher than on the DEX. It's like 0.7%, still pretty low. But just want users to be aware. I think it's 0.7%.
So to your first point, time actually hit an all-time high 2 days ago on PulseChain. So which
Oh,
is,
really?
oh
Congrats.
yes,
I got to go look at the chart. Hold on.
go look at the chart. And of course, in the Wrap Pulse view, right? So we do have an in-app swap fee. It is 0.729%, which is actually less than MetaMask and Trust Wallet. And the major difference is not only is it less, 100% of the revenue generated from the swap is distributed to time holders. So if you're swapping on PulseChain and you hold time, you're actually earning PLS as passive income. And the Internet Money Wallet is a great place to swap because we aggregate more liquidity sources than anywhere else on PulseChain. We aggregate to 14 different dexes and Pateus and then compare them all simultaneously so you know you're getting the best trade. And oftentimes, even with paying that fee, the fee pays for itself because you're searching everywhere at once. You get a higher yielding trade and it offsets the fee.
Yep. That's cool, man. And yeah, just how the system works in order to, ensure that the token has a utility and it drips PLS. I've got a little bit as well, and I can
Nice.
confirm. Yeah, well, I think I think it was donated, but I have been watching the price, and you're at an all-time high in PLS terms, 68
Correct.
pulse. I see.
Yep. Now, if
Used to
Pulse
be
was
20.
pumping, we'd be at an all-time high in US dollar terms, but
We're pretty wrecked right now, huh?
it's not great.
Yeah, this is bad.
And we're still building though, so it's all good.
The people aren't going anywhere. The people have staked their whole livelihoods on this chain. It just sucks to see it, currently in the state that it's in.
Yes, it does. I mean, look, if nobody sure, some people, sure, they expected cool, good for you, but the large majority of people didn't expect the state of Pulse Chain to be what it is now. But they also didn't factor in crazy government intervention, so it's kind of a wild card. And
Yeah, I've
about it.
been saying kind of this time really is different for the cycle. Bitcoin halvening happened, all-time high happened before a Bitcoin halvening. There's much larger interest rates as opposed to zero for the past, for the first 12 years of crypto, there were zero interest rates. The government and institutions are getting in, and they're actually extremely bullish, right? Like there was a convention in New York where it's mostly institutional money. It's like a crypto convention.
Mm-hmm.
And the sentiment from what I hear over there was that they're just like, shut up and take my money. Let's invest in crypto. They want to put crypto into every banking app. They want to put DeFi strategies into all these different Robinhoods and Venmos and stuff, so you can earn yield and not even know that you're like secretly using an LP on Uniswap and some Aave lending. They're interested in all of DeFi because they have the green light. But at the same time, the prices are suppressed, and it really sucks. And there's chaos and uncertainty within PulseChain, but we do need to zoom out as well because everything is wrecked. Even with the so-called, all the extractors on the whole PDI situation and the Atropa guy just dumping. If that was kind of happening this whole time, this time last year in March, if that was still happening, which it probably was happening this whole time, kind of like the slow extraction, we were still 9x higher in PLS terms than we are today. So the proof is that we have the ability to be that much higher, even with such a negative externality of sell pressure. I'd like if people didn't do that, and I'd like if people, chose other things, but you can't control what the market wants to do. And if anything, there's pros and cons of every situation. Like there's narratives forming that have brought people in, but at the cost of extraction. There was extraction in Hex, there was extraction in INC token, all these inflationary tokens, right? I'm sure a lot of people extracted the value of their PulseX because PulseX is at an all-time low. Theoretically, that one lives on its own island away from PDI liquidity pools. So extraction across the board, hope at an all-time low, optimism all-time low. It does suck to see, but a lot of cryptos are hurting outside of PulseChain too.
Yeah, a lot of great points. And it's actually kind of strange that we just came off of an administration that was very basically anti-crypto, and Bitcoin hits an all, is sustaining, Ethereum's doing fine, and then we get this pro-crypto administration, everything's in the toilet. It's kind of funny how that happens. Maybe it was a big buy the rumor, sell the news or something. But to the PDI point, yeah, that did hurt the system because it grew so big and got so much, one of my favorite words, egregore, got so much egregore that it was actually able to hurt the system at large. And so we are seeing those effects. People are removing a lot of liquidity off chain. And now we as a community, we have to find ways to re-onboard that money, because that is money that left the system. And you couple that with, like, Ethereum's at $1,800 today. PulseChain is, in a lot of ways, the price appreciation or depreciation is influenced by the Ethereum price. So we have all this microcosm stuff going on, and then there is also a macrocosm that's working against us too. So it's like this perfect storm of negative things pushing PulseChain down.
But it's like Bitcoin, it's like Ethereum. They're anti-fragile. They're resilient. They can't be shut off, and they're distributed systems at the end of the day. No one can shut them off, which is really all you need to know. Like, they can't actually die. Ethereum, even Bitcoin, like, they've all suffered hacks or exploits or whatever you want to call them at certain points or another. And especially Ethereum, like, how much money was lost to bridge hacks and contracts going down. Binance Smart Chain, like, I remember back in 2020, all kinds of hacks that would steal millions. I think the problem right now is that when we have some kind of a lesser, like a long, you can call it like a slow rug, right? This guy, just a couple $1,000 here, a couple $1,000 there, dumping slowly over time. And I'm sure it's probably many people, because a lot of people also made a 5,000x on it. So you got to factor in all the people that just bought early, that are up so much that don't really care, or they are incentivized to keep the game going. But all this to say, this is happening in a low liquidity environment. I don't know what the liquidity of Ethereum was in the first couple of years, but it was probably pretty low. It might not be as low as PulseChain. When you think about the fact that there's only like maybe $10 million of stable coins backing everything, it's kind of amazing that we're not lower. You know what I mean? Like, we could always be more wrecked. But that also means
it's true.
That also means things can pump harder, but it means things dump harder too. The low liquidity, I do think, was part of the plan. All part of the plan, bro. Like, it's almost a meme at this point, but Richard probably did that by design. I mean, lowering the INC inflation and lowering the hex yield for rolling stakers was a clear indicator that he wants to cut inflation. He wants to cut people that are perpetually dumping. And he's also coming out and saying, hey guys, I wish you would pull LP on PDI. But of course, some people are going to twist that into whatever suits their narrative. Like, whatever cope of, he doesn't really want you to know that he's secretly behind it. He's not. But whatever you choose to believe, I can't help you. It's a lot of bag bias, sunk cost fallacy, uncomfortable truths. But hey, keep the party going by all means, as long as it doesn't wreck everybody else. And I wonder how extensive the wreckage really is just from that. Like, it's a scapegoat to a degree, because you could say the same thing about Hex, like all the rich people in Hex that have just been dumping that made so much money. But now that that's been cut off, I'd also like to see whatever this inflation or whatever this minting exploit, this extraction going on in PDI, I'd also like to see that cut off too. Who knows if the auctions are actually going to help or not? It might just raise the debt ceiling back to zero. It helps to learn more about the protocol, but a lot of people don't care. They just want to listen to other people say big words about functions that they don't understand, and smart contracts and chain analysis that they've never actually clicked on. I get it. That's how most people are, and that's the state we're in. So that's kind of like the disappointing aspect, is that people aren't asking more questions. But how do you really feel about all that?
Loaded question. You said,
not really. How do you genuinely feel? Not loaded at all. Like, that's how I feel.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I don't want people to lose. I want good, the average person I think on this chain or in general is a good person, right? You get a few people at the top, like you described, who say big words, put chain analysis, they trick people. I, for the longest time, whether I was right or wrong, called the Maria dev a genius LARP. Because if you actually listen to Maria speak, they aren't cohesive thoughts. They're
I had the
just
same opinion when I watched those 4 hours of video content. I got done watching and I was just like more confused and just unimpressed. But I mean, I think we're in a state without Richard Hart, everyone's incredibly desperate to follow a leader.
yes.
And so I mean, even whatever that guy was, like,
Well, and see,
it's weird.
I say that because I do not like insulting people, and obviously I'm going to catch flack for even saying that, but I say that at this point because look, I want to believe everybody's trying to do cool stuff, but all of Maria's contracts were unverified, which is a huge red flag. We should be scared of unverified contracts. And they're minting and dumping on people. It's part of the rug is
You
happening
can
right
look
now.
at it like they're minting infinite T-bill, dumping it
Exactly.
for infinite Atropa.
Exactly.
And I just don't understand how you can just say, "Oh, that's not happening." Like it's fucking happening.
Right. You cannot like it. Look, hey, maybe it is all part of the plan. Who am I? but it's happening. Someone's stealing your money right now. They're stealing your money on PDI. They're stealing your money on Atropa. They're stealing from you. In any other context, if that was happening outside of the bag bias bubble that you're now indoctrinated into, you would say that's a scam. But somehow, like a lot of people have given their autonomy over. And look, until proven otherwise, right now, the Atropa ecosystem and PDI is a scam. Until proven otherwise, that is where it is. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I never touched Atropa. I did touch PDI for a while, but I just don't. I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, man. There's a lot of cryptic messaging, wishful thinking, and people wanting to connect dots that aren't there. Like, I get it. We're all longing for a reason, or something to make sense. And if some people say some nice words that make you feel better, you don't necessarily always question them. People should, but they don't. Critical thinking, it's huge, guys. And of course, we're going to get comments like, "Oh, you're footing my bags. You don't want us to, you don't want us to get rich." That's not true at all.
I want you to get rich very badly, which is why I'm telling you to stay away from scams of people that are using unverified contracts to mint free tokens.
And that's the real
money.
honeypot, because there's 3 billion DAI tied to Atropa. Sure, Atropa might have renounced ownership, but the other giant liquidity pool of Atropa to T-bill does not. It has infinite mintability, and we saw the on-chain analysis of like so many of those coins minting it, and they dump. People need to understand how the routes work. You dump T-bill for Atropa for PDI for Pulse, and then ultimately Pulse for real dollars, and that kind of hurts everybody. So we're bringing more attention to it by even talking about it, but I just feel like it should be addressed.
I hear you.
I'm pretty convinced that that's not a good actor. It might not be a blatantly bad actor, but it's just like a weird gray hat schizo thing that like should have never garnered so much attention, in my opinion. There's so much other cool stuff being built, so much, like literally anything else. Whereas like these contracts with weird cryptic names, like I don't know what that was, and hopefully that just loses its power on people over time. We'll see.
Well, and I also want to say, like, I reached out to people who were in contact with Maria many, many months ago, and I tried to get them on stream. Not to accuse them or anything. If anyone's ever watched my streams, I always approach neutrally. I just wanted to know. I wanted to learn, and it didn't happen. And still, that invitation's open. If I'm wrong, if coffee's wrong, let's talk about it. Let's learn why we're wrong, why what we're saying is wrong. And I'm sure you are, Coffee. You're one of the most, if not the most, open-minded KOL in our community. And so I'm sure that you'd be willing to talk to anybody about, oh, don't let me say that for you. For me personally, I'd be willing to talk to anybody about it and have my mind changed. But Please be careful out there, people. There's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I really hope that somebody figures out some of this PDI exploitation and uses it for good. Imagine like somebody figures this out and then starts pumping the ecosystem instead of exiting. We could be in a much better place. I encourage everybody to learn about the MakerDAO contracts, play around with the functions, go on the scanner, play around with them. See if you can somehow do this too, because it either ends one of two ways. It's like people figure out the system, they get smarter. They either max extract or they recirculate the money into the ecosystem. And right now, I mean, we've seen extractors, but it could be used. Like, what if the extractor was like a pro PulseX and just funneled all that money into PulseX instead?
Yeah, right.
You know, like
Right.
it could be not the worst thing. Like we could make something good out of this all. But don't be afraid to follow the debank link, read the chain analysis, learn about the smart contracts, read the maker documentation, like really read it so that you can understand if things people are saying are making any sense or not, rather than just deferring all of your thought to the guy that's telling you about functions in MakerDAO that you don't know what they do.
Yes. And to the people who are like, hey, look, I can't read chain analysis, it's not my thing, then just make an opinion from several sources. Listen to pro, listen to against, listen to neutral, and actually formulate a well-rounded opinion. And don't ever listen to one person for all your information in crypto. I think maybe
people will just listen to like whoever's talking about their bags in a positive light. It's really valid. That simple.
That's valid.
People want to outsource their critical thinking to others, and it also kind of outsources their responsibility too. They're like, oh, I get to say it's not my fault because I get to blame that guy.
Oh, I hadn't considered that aspect before. I hear exactly what you're saying. I didn't make a bad decision. He made a bad. Your fault. Yeah. I blame you.
He told me what. I love it when they say, "Oh, the influencer told me what to do." It's like you told yourself what to do, and then you told yourself a story that someone else did it because you don't want to admit the truth to yourself.
That's completely valid. That's a larger human problem, but it is definitely at play here in crypto completely. I hear you.
Just survive out there. I hope everyone survives and allocates accordingly. I hope nobody's like over allocated. And I think the narrative puppeteers are going to keep the narrative going. So, I mean, as long as Atropa Dev doesn't just nuke, which he's kind of sold a lot so far, but if he could nuke and just crash out. But if it's just a slow extract from the current exploiters, I mean, this thing could keep going. It has potential staying power, regardless of the fact that Richard's not behind it. For better or worse, KG, what a chaotic world we live in, huh?
Dude, amen to that. And I mean, I don't know that anybody has the answers. Look, I can say, for example, I could talk positively about what we've built, Time. It's immutable with no admin keys, open source, verified code. You don't have to trust a single word I say about anything, not even with the wallet. The wallet's open source. When you're out there in crypto, you should be looking for protocols and products like that, where you don't have to trust the person on the screen telling you a thing. Sure, if you don't read code, you still have to trust me. Or you could hire someone to read code if you want to go that far, or ask the community of people out there who are well qualified to review everything we have. Open source, immutable code is why you're in crypto. And if you don't know what that means, learn what that means and start looking for stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, people should demand better answers and more understanding, but they don't. People are simple. I mean, at the end of the day, most people are just gambling. We're just betting on horses, and I like that guy. He said something nice about my horse, so I'm going to follow that guy because I got a bag. I mean, really, it's that simple. I don't think you can change human nature, but sure. That's the disappointing part about all of it. It's like, I don't want there to be bad actors. I suspect there probably are some mixed in with a lot of wishful thinking and optimism and legitimate believers at the expense of just a few masterminds. I don't know. I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody, but we've seen one specific dude, like some Vietnamese dude. That's one example. You can't deny that the on-chain analysis shows millions of dollars extracted. It's not not really ideal. I wish that guy was a PulseChain fan. If he was a PulseChain fan, I would feel differently, but it doesn't seem to be.
Which, yes, I hear you. I do. And honestly, I do a really good job of doing my best to stay neutral and grounded. But things like this, they actually hurt me because real human beings reach out to me and ask, or just are upset or hurt because they lost so much money on things that, not because price went down because something failed. That's far different than something being a scam or a rug pull. And at the end of the day, the responsibility is always on the person who clicked the buy button. It's always your responsibility. This is an autonomous free market, and this is what you signed up for. But I still feel for people. And one bit of financial advice that I will give, feel free to take me to court over this. That's fine. I'll see you there. Is don't invest what you can't afford to lose. No, I don't like to lose money. Who likes to lose money? But at least if you're going to potentially lose money, make it be an amount of money that doesn't negatively impact your life. Don't put your mortgage money into crypto because some influencer said something about some coin and you feel excited about it. Invest responsibly and don't invest what you can't afford to lose. Because then if you lose it all, while it sucks, your life isn't destroyed.
Yeah, investing is highly emotional, right? People at the end of the day, they make their decisions emotionally. So I think like Richard says, or he used to say back when he was streaming, redirecting people's attention to positive stuff is better than trying to so-called stop scams, right? Because yelling about something you think is a scam, it's called a risk dial. It just gives the scam more attention. Whereas if you redirect people and get them feeling all emotional, that's what he did with Hex, basically. Hex is, here's a contract with no admin keys that makes you trustless yields. And it's definitely crypto cypherpunk friendly. It's definitely by the book of what crypto is supposed to be. But also, I'm going to make you feel emotional about it. If people don't press that button unless they feel emotional, unless you're kind of a psychopath, or if you've really, if you're actually a psychopath and you don't feel emotion, that's like 1% of the population. But there's also the ability to detach and dissociate, that if you've honed that ability over many years, like I'm kind of numb to a lot of things at this point, but I still feel emotions, and emotions still make me want to buy stuff, right? Because I'm a human, and that's how we make decisions. So it's like if someone's drunk at a party, you don't try to argue with them. If you want to interact with them or change what they're focused on, you don't argue with the drunk guy. You just redirect their attention.
Good analogy.
Right? Because they just start focusing on something else. Like there's no point in trying to reason with somebody that's not using reason or not using that part of their brain.
I hear exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
I like all those hexagons behind you.
Oh yeah, you like those?
Yeah, those are nice.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's actually a setting that kind of makes it look like hex colors, but it doesn't show up too well on camera. So
I like the green today. I haven't seen green in many moons.
Green candles. Hey, I'm manifesting my positive reality.
I forgot what green looked like, so thanks for reminding me.
Hey, come to the stream. You'll always get green.
Yep, there you go. So yeah, how are we feeling about the future of PulseChain? Are we still bullish, or what do we think?
I'm unsure. We're building as if PulseChain is still going to be here and PulseChain is still going to thrive. That is my personal philosophy and belief. My investment thesis in PulseChain right now, socially, financially, as a builder, is it's either zero or the moon. There really is no quote exit for me. I'm in way too deep. I believe way too much. For me, it's zero or the moon, right? And beautiful thing about internet money is, while I don't think PulseChain is going to fail, should it fail, we're a multi-chain product. So like our product still trucks on, So I love the position we're in personally.
I'm rooting for you guys. I hate the fact that I find MetaMask's user experience slightly better, but I do mean slightly. And I know that might be tough to hear because I know you're working on it. I know it's like you're almost there.
It's fine.
I want you guys to win because I'd much rather use internet money. It's just that like I'm kind of, I guess you could say, a power user. And look, for internet, for 90% of users that are just swapping and holding, internet money is perfect for you. But if you're a freak blockchain enthusiast like me, and you know, I'm connecting to all kinds of weird stuff on different chains, and sometimes I'm on base, sometimes I'm, you know, doing other random stuff. So I really don't like MetaMask. I don't trust them. And although I do use, like I've said, I use internet money as my hot wallet, I haven't fully switched over yet. I mean, I've got more than one wallet.
Well, couple things there. With support like yours, even though you're saying the things you're saying, the fact that you're bringing attention and awareness and pointing out the things you do like about it, as more people do that, we will continue to grow. And you can connect to dApps on the internet money wallet. It's a little different experience. We have some tutorials coming out. So about, I'd say 95% of dApps work with internet money wallet. There's a few that don't. There's a few that never upgraded their Wallet Connect. Wallet, we were fully integrated with Wallet Connect V1, and then they rugged it and said, everybody upgrade to Wallet Connect V2, which put all these dApps in a weird place. So even though we're as optimized as we can be on Wallet Connect, I work closely with the Wallet Connect team. I've even spoken with the Wallet Connect founder a number of times. So we are as integrated as a wallet can be, but we can only be as good as each individual dApp is, which is such an unfortunate reality for us because we can't take Wallet Connect any further. And so when they made their upgrade, it like rugged us because everybody was integrated just fine with Wallet Connect V1. So it's like,
yeah, didn't they get acquired by a new company or they changed names?
Yeah, they're re-owned now.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyways, that's a whole other deep nerd conversation, but we hear you. We, you know, and as like I said, as people like you keep supporting us, it brings traffic, it brings attention, and we can grow and get better. And look, MetaMask has 5 years on us.
I know.
And we're actually, if you look at feature by feature, we're not that far away from everything they can already do. And so we're us in 5 years. I don't even know what MetaMask is going to look like, you know?
It's true. It's true. We're happy you're in our corner and you're PulseChain first, PulseChain friendly. We know you're not going to rug us like Rabby.
Have zero
chance. It's a good wallet, folks. Check it out. Also, the alien theme, pretty good. Pretty good.
Glad you like that.
I like the anonymous mask too in the background there.
All this, that little guy. Yeah,
it's pretty crypto of you.
Yeah, it's a nice ceramic mask. It's, you know, I
invested. Ceramic.
I invested in a good one. Hey, let me grab that for you, bro. Let me grab it for you.
Yeah, you wear that to the anonymous rallies. You big 4chan guy.
I plead the fifth. Yeah, nice little.
That is nice.
Yeah, got foam in there for when you don't wear it.
That's actually the logo of a coin called Remember that I just purchased.
Oh man, now they're gonna think I'm shilling. Damn it.
Hey, I'll shill for them. I like that coin.
Hey, your stream buddy, shill away.
Yeah. OG Web Chef. I think he's created like some kind of a liquidity web that actually pays you out with arbitrage bots and market maker bots. So it seems more useful than some of the other liquidity web nonsense. Which I do think is nonsense. I don't care how people feel about that. I mean, guys, like, I understand people have a financial incentive not to understand things, but you should also understand that. And I want the game to keep going. I don't want the party to stop here. I am disappointed. Obviously, I just wish people would do things that were in their own best interest. And right now, there's potentially some sell pressure. Not to really get hung up on that point, but there's some sell pressure from some extractors, some very extractive individuals.
And to your point there about that other ecosystem, I just checked. I don't know that we have it preloaded into the wallet, but if the team is watching, any team, send us your logos to our Twitter at Internet Money IO, and dude, we'll get that logo added. We'll get it preloaded in the wallet so that, you know, people don't have to know the contract address and all that. And, you know, one thing that's cool, hey, Internet Money Wallet on PulseChain and at 50 other chains-ish, 50-ish other chains right now, we track the prices of all assets, 100% of assets. Even if it gets a price 5 minutes later, it'll have a price in the Internet Money Wallet. So that's pretty nice too.
Are you using Morales?
Not yet. We want to. We're using Deck Screener right now for pricing, but
no, I think Deck Screener is fairly accurate. They're probably more accurate than anything else.
we like Morales and we want to integrate with Morales. So it's our roadmap is thousands of tasks long, never
Yeah,
ends.
I can't even imagine. And wallet is like the cornerstone of all of crypto. It's literally people's gateway into the crypto universe. So it's an important software to get right. And you don't want to go too fast either. You want to test things and make sure there's no devastating bugs. And it's a dangerous game there. But I'm glad there's people like you that are willing to take the challenge.
Well, and to that point, that is actually why sometimes it takes us a while to get things out, because it's not, oh, we just write code and push it out the next day. When we write it internally, we have internal review from devs over other devs' work, engineers' work. And then we have the first round, call it QA testing, where we test internally. Then we push it out to our alpha group that we're open for people to join. So if you'd like to join that, where they test it, and then we get feedback, and there's always something, right? No software is perfect. There is zero perfect pieces of software, period. Unless your whole software is a white screen. Maybe you're a perfect white screen, I guess. I don't know. But beyond that, and so that all takes time, and then it's got to come back. Then we have to push it to the app stores, which that can take a day. It could take 3 weeks for them to approve it. So it's just, by the nature of what we're doing, security and safety is always our first priority. And with that, you just can't move as fast.
Good stuff, man. You have any copium for me? Please give me a little bit of whatever your hopium is for the future. Optimism. What are you looking forward to?
Crypto in general or PulseChain?
I guess PulseChain. It's kind of where I've staked my entire reputation, net worth.
Sure.
Give me something good.
For me personally, I'll transition there. For me personally, my copium is I don't pay attention to a lot of the noise because I'm building. It's like if you're in the gym working out, are you worried about the other people out there? No, not in that moment. So for me, I have that. I feel grateful to have that, but I think it's a hard time to come up with copium because it's like, just give us some shred of positivity. So I think the best piece of copium I could possibly give is look at the builders, look at the community of people who still care about this, who are still innovating on the chain, and know that even if something crazy happens, we still have this community of people that I'm sure will make something happen. So I don't know that there's any more copium than that, because everything else beyond that is completely unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, blockchains are distributed systems. They cannot be shut down. Hex, PulseX, PulseChain cannot be shut down. Plenty of other good projects, plenty of other good coins. Literally almost anything else, in my opinion, is worth checking out, at least reading into, doing some research. And I say think for yourself all the time, right? Get a variety of opinions, but it's really hard to be honest with yourself when you've got financial incentive to believe whoever's telling you nice things that you might not understand. Try to seek deep understanding or not. I just hope that we can overpower any kind of a slow extraction. A slow extraction doesn't bother me as much as the potential for a massive extraction, right? That potential is currently there. And it does worry me, but I'm not leaving. Building is a good way to take your mind off things, to improve the ecosystem, to redirect people's focus. Hey, look at this thing I built.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have admin keys. Even look at this meme coin on Pumped Out Tires. Literally anything that refocuses people's attention, or when you start building and you're not worried about the noise, right? It's all signal at that point. That's a good way to cope. Build, learn, understand, seek out new opportunities. New opportunities. Things that have gone up thousands of X's do need to cool off. Probably, as we saw with Hex, 99%, 99% down because it went up so high. And people are still up if they got in at the beginning in the first couple of months. So people are still up net positive on Hex. But just don't be afraid to ask harder questions. Think for yourself, critical thinking. I hope that we can build our way out of this. And again, just make newer, better things that overpower the extraction. I think when a bull market comes back, look, I think Ethereum at $4,000 can overpower Vietnamese dude easily. But a Tropa honeypot, a little bit bothersome. When you look at the chain analysis, it's like I wish that wasn't there. But it is what it is. We all have to decide. We have the choice to make of what we focus our time and energy on. So focus on yourself, improving yourself, making something useful. If you make something useful on PulseChain, there's also lots of financial reward too. But if you're just following and looking for somebody to tell you good things that'll make you feel good, be warned. Tread carefully, guys. We're coming up at maybe almost an hour here. Are there any final thoughts you have?
Couple. First, to your point, I can sense maybe some distress in you. And I don't think, regardless of what happens with PulseChain, dude, you've been such an awesome human being. I generally sense a sense of morality from you. And even if something crazy happens and PulseChain goes away, I don't think your career in crypto is anywhere close to being done or anything. You're smart. You give people a voice. You're honest, and you're a hard worker. You're gonna be a-okay, brother. Like if there's
thank you, man. I'm actually not so worried about myself, but I really do. That means a lot. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
More so worried about other people that are overextended, potentially into very risky things. But look, to each their own. Everyone's responsible for themselves. And you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But I do appreciate that.
You're welcome. I mean it. And let me give everybody a potential reality that's awesome. And now, hey, people take it and run with it. They do or they don't. But this will work. PulseChain's number one problem isn't anything that we just said. It's not PDI. It's not extractors. That's a problem, but it's not PulseChain's number one problem. PulseChain's number one problem is its accessibility and navigability. It's hard to get onto and it's hard to use. Internet Money Wallet, it solves that in many respects and is continuing to find ways to solve those two of PulseChain's biggest problems. Now, if everybody rallies around the Internet Money Wallet, sure, we have areas here or there, blah, blah, blah. We could get better. I get it from everybody. I understand. You can say that about MetaMask, say about Rabby, say about any wallet. Always can stand to improve. You say about Windows 11, and they've been building since the 80s. So fine. You say that about every piece of software. If everybody rallied around internet money, like you said, the gateway to DeFi, literally the gateway to PulseChain on the iOS, Android, and Chrome app stores, the three world's largest app stores, and showed people that there is an easy way to get onto PulseChain. Whip out your debit card, buy a Pulse. Yeah, it's only $300. Don't focus on that. Focus on somebody pulling out their debit card at a bar and buying PulseChain in 5 minutes. Focus on that. And then if you want to earn as the system grows, you could buy some time. You could put some green candles in your pocket, all-time high 2 days ago. Rally around that. Internet Money Wallet will grow, and it'll only make it easier to get onto and easier to navigate PulseChain. And in the meantime, we'll be solving PulseChain's biggest problem. The community can rally around internet money. I see very, very near-term tangible positives for PulseChain.
Awesome, man. I hope internet money becomes the killer app because all people would need is one wallet. Like you said, they can buy right from the wallet. Once you can buy from the wallet and once you've got an in-app browser, I mean, it's game over. You don't really need much else. You can do everything from your phone. Obviously, don't ever store your private keys online, blah, blah, blah. All the same stuff you've heard before.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you're safe, all you really need, theoretically, is that one killer app.
Exactly. All those liquidity positions, hex stakes, every little cool little thing you want to see, consider it in the plans is coming. Just going to take time and support to get there.
I hope everyone's surviving out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, keep your head afloat. A lot of things on a discount right now. Some things may be overpriced. Check out new stuff. Check out OG Web Chef. Check out Finvesta Ecosystem. Shameless chill of stuff that I've recently purchased. But yeah, be careful. Don't step on any landmines. A lot of stuff's on sale. I'll see you on the next one.